And it's the return of storage networking. NVIDIA had a big announcement this week using SpectrumX to speed up the data storage fabric. One of the key features is using adaptive routing to prevent flow collisions and route around congestion in the storage infrastructure. If you're worried about data bits arriving out of order, have no fear. NVIDIA Bluefield-3 SuperNICs can hold on to those pieces and reassemble them in the proper order for presentation to the host system without any impact. Um, SpectrumX is an Ethernet solution, allows RDMA traffic to be sent over RoCE v2, and testing of the newest features has increased read performance up to 48%, and write bandwidth increased up to 41%. Tom, this is storage and networking joined together. Is this great news in networking?
I think this is proof positive that the future of AI development is not going to be dependent upon InfiniBand. When you look at the moves that NVIDIA has been making with SpectrumX and Bluefield-3 and this entire system together, I think they've realized that they've hit a ceiling with InfiniBand. And we know why that is, right? Is because InfiniBand was designed to scale out for HPC, but it had a realistic limit of, a few tens of thousands of nodes. And we're going to get way bigger than that. And so seeing the way that this system is performing and, seeing the massive increases, this kind of tracks with what we had talked about. I think it was last year when I recorded my, what's the deal with InfiniBand show on our Conversations here on the Gestalt IT YouTube channel. But the short version is that there is a ceiling for InfiniBand's performance. It's high, but it is a ceiling. Whereas Ethernet is playing catch up, but as Ethernet always does, it can get massively good performance with some tweaking. And I think that the piece that is really helping this is the Bluefield-3 DPUs. They're calling them SuperNICs, but you probably have heard them as DPUs or IPUs or something like that. Effectively, what's happening is that these DPUs are sitting in the systems and they are offloading all of the network processing so that the host CPU doesn't have to deal with that. Because if the host CPU gets overrun, then the whole system shuts down. And this is something that we've seen a lot from other companies that are developing these things. I know, we covered a story on the rundown a couple of years ago where Amazon was effectively using their Nitro DPUs to get rid of TCP, and because it was a performance bottleneck. And we're starting to see that here too. They're doing native RoCE v2 to be able to get these data packets back and forth. And 40% increased performance for read and write is nothing to sneeze at. I think that it's an exciting time because we're seeing the ascendancy of Ethernet across all media. The trick, though, is that this is NVIDIA specific. So for those of you who've been keeping track at home, there is the NVIDIA way of doing things. And then there is the Ultra Ethernet Consortium, which is basically everybody who's not NVIDIA. And they are trying to figure out a way to square those two things. I think, at least for the foreseeable future, since NVIDIA kind of has the stranglehold with InfiniBand right now, we're going to continue to see massive performance increase in Ethernet through NVIDIA because they are kind of the gorilla in the market. I think Ultra Ethernet will continue to develop as they have been, and we will see some interesting counterpoints. But for right now, I think that this is NVIDIA's ball to run with, and I honestly can't wait to see what they can do when they get it to run flat out across a fabric.